honestly, I'm really glad to be part of this presentation or this conference. Why? Because it's something new. It's talking about an initiative that works on people to grab and gain experience in the career path that they really want. Just let me demonstrate my video. Okay. Now, just before I start my presentation, I have a question for all of us. It's an important question, and it's something that we really need to think of, which is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? It may sound as an interview question, but honestly, it's not. It's something for us to trigger our thinking. Think of it. Take some seconds to think of this question. I know it's not easy at all. Thinking about 10 years forward is really challenging. Maybe it's difficult even as a fresh grad specifically to think about the next step. What about 10 years later? But the point is, if you think about 10 years later right now, it would be shorter for you to reach there instead of jumping from here to there without really knowing what you really want. So this conference is an opportunity for us to know really what we want. Now, my topic, which is building a career development plan, it will talk about this and it will guide you how we can reach this. But just before, I would like to introduce you to myself. But the point is, I don't like to speak about myself in a traditional CV way. I prefer to make it as a story. Why? Because it's not about me, it's about you. It's about you to gain my experience or to get the advices that you need for your career. So I'll start with graduation. I graduated from the University of Jordan in 2008. The thing, 1 month before graduation, I started to distribute my CV to pharma companies. I was targeting the multinational pharma companies to start my work as a medical representative. The point is, I had some few friends and colleagues, they were telling me, you're wasting your time. Don't send to the big companies, send at the beginning to the small companies. Because big companies like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Novartis, Roche, they need experience. They want experienced people, not fresh grads. So take the experience in a small company, then shift to a big company. Also, they told me, of course, these companies, they need you should have relations inside them. You should have people that will help you get the job. In Arabic, wasta. What I did actually, I neglected all these words. Why? Because number one, I believe in myself. Number two, I believe in God. He's above all these things. So what I really did, I went and distributed my CVs only to the multinational big companies. And what really happened, my first call, my first interview was at Pfizer. Pfizer at that time was the biggest pharmaceutical company. And the lucky thing and the good thing that happened was that within 24 hours of my first interview in Pfizer, I got my job offer. And at that time, Pfizer gave the highest salary in Jordan. So the first message I want to send here is to stay away from negative people. These people are killers. They'll take you away from your success. The second message and the second advice I would like to send is to start in the big place. Start in the best places. Don't waste your time in small places. Start in the best place. Why? It helps you later. Now, after 2 years working in Pfizer Jordan, I took a decision to move to the Gulf. I moved to the Gulf with AstraZeneca, which was at that time one of the big 5 companies also. So starting in Pfizer in a big place gives you a chance to get a better options in the future. So always start in a strong, big company. I worked in AstraZeneca for 10 years in 3 different countries, in Bahrain, Palestine, and Jordan. And I took different positions, starting from professional medical rep to a full second-line sales manager. I'll speak about the last 5 years, which were in Jordan. I took 4 different positions. They were first-line sales manager, senior first-line sales manager, interim second-line sales manager, and at the end, I was a full second-line sales manager. Now, simply what's the difference between a first-line manager and a second-line manager? A first-line manager is in charge of employees. He's a manager of employees. A second-line manager is a manager of managers. So in AstraZeneca, I was a second-line sales manager in around 2017. I was second line sales manager in charge of 4 different lines, which were gastrointestinal, cardiovascular, retail, and respiratory. Now the point is, what helped me get the 4 promotions in less than 5 years in Jordan? The number one thing is working on your skills. Work hard on your skills. These companies, these big companies, they'll give you lots of trainings. Benefit from these trainings. Build your experience in these trainings. It gives you huge jumps in your career. Now, also, I want to tell you something. In the last 5 years in my work, I discovered a new passion inside me. That passion was teaching, developing, and training, coaching people. And I started to target this part. And this was my next step in my career. It's the courageous one, it's the brave one. It was after having an excellent job in a multinational company to start my private business. In 2020, I started my private business, Your Next Step for Coaching and Development, in Istanbul, Turkey, where I am right now. What is Your Next Step for Coaching and Development? Simply, it's a training and development company for pharma companies and pharmacists specifically. We work from Istanbul through the Middle East. How? Through digital coaching. Because to be honest, now you can reach anywhere through digital. And COVID-19 showed us how everything could be taught or developed through digital. So what we really do, we have trainings for different competencies for the people. Let's say for companies, of course, and of course for the individuals, there's things for fresh grads that we give one-to-one sessions to help them improve their interviewing skills and the skills needed for their job. And even for experienced people who want to get promoted, we have competency-based trainings to teach them and to train them and to coach them to reach them. So this is my current job or my current career. I'm now the founder and coach of Your Next Step for Coaching and Development. So if you want to advise you 4 major advices regarding my career for you to take it as transferable knowledge. Number 1 is to stay away from negative people. These people are energy vampires. Stay away from them. Number 2, start in the best place. It helps you boost your career. Number 3, develop your skills to the max and benefit from the trainings you take from your company. And number 4, chase your dream. Even if you're working in an excellent place and you have a dream, chase that dream. But in one condition, this dream should be realistic. And this is what we will speak in the next slides. To build a career development plan, it needs to be regarding your aspiration, and at the same time, it should be realistic. Okay, let me define what is a career development plan now. CDP, what is a CDP? CDP is a personalized strategy used to assist individuals in achieving their career goals. It consists of short-term and long-term goals related to the individual's career aspiration. So why should we do a CDP? Why should we do a career development plan? Because simply, when you have a plan, you will reach to your goals faster. People who don't have plans, what happens with them? They start in a place, then they move to another, then to the third, and they face a problem there. Why? It took too much for them to reach their goal. But if they start from day 1 with their goals clear for them, it will be much faster to reach there. So what I'll ask you for now is to bring a pen and paper to take some notes, because I'll explain to you how you can do a career development plan, and you can do it later because it needs lots of time and lots of brainstorming, lots of thinking. So take the notes now and you can do it later. Now, what are the steps you need to do? Simply, number 1 is to decide on your long-term goal. Then we decide on the short-term goals. Then we write in details every point of them. So let's start now with deciding on your long-term goal. To decide on your long-term goal, it's not easy. The question I asked in the beginning was, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And you saw how difficult it is to think of this question. But being in this conference, it will really help you to find out what you really want to be. You can see different options, and I'll advise you to write. What did you like most? What did you find yourself most? Where do you see yourself motivated to work most? Write it. And you already know other work experiences from the university, from the pharmacy you practiced in. You already know other options. So write all the options that you find attractive for you. Write 3 to 4. Then the next step, what I want you to do is to think about yourself after 10 years. What are the feelings that you're looking for? What kind of feelings you would love to have regarding your career? Write 3 to 4 feelings, like it could be satisfied, it could be successful, it could be stable. Different feelings, whatever feeling you seek to have, think of it. Then what you will do, you will combine the feelings with the options you have written. Which option is giving you the best feeling? It needs some thinking, but you need to do it. So you need to write which option gives you the best feeling, which gives you the second, the third, and fourth. After doing this exercise, you have defined your aspiration, your dream. But dreams don't work alone. We need to be a little bit realistic. So here comes the second part, balancing between the aspiration and the reality, being realistic. Now, if I tell you I'm a 35 years old guy, I want to become a professional football player, lots of people will tell me it's a little bit difficult. It's not realistic. Why? Because usually football players retire at 35. You're not going to become professional now. It's too late. So we need to be realistic. How can we define if it's realistic or not? Simply, you need to check what are the requirements you need to achieve this goal. What are the skills, the certifications? What are the requirements? What do you need to do to achieve this goal? Is it common sense or not? Because sometimes you may need to move from a country to a country, and this is not an option for you. So this could not be realistic for yourself. It could be something that needs money, like opening a chain pharmacy. And you know that it needs lots of time to get this kind of money, and it's not possible for you according to 10 years time frame. So we need to be realistic. Now what you will do, you'll get the first option you had with the one that you have, you're dreaming of most, and to study it. Is it realistic or not? After studying it, and don't do it by yourself, ask experienced people to help you. After doing this part, if it's realistic, then go for it. If it's not, start with the second option and study it and know, is it realistic or not? And go through this exercise until you reach to an aspiration that is realistic and put it as your goal and target. Now we decided on our long-term goal. The next step is to decide on our short-term goals. What are the short-term goals? Simply, the short-term goals are the goals that will help you reach to your long-term goal. Okay, so I'll give you an example here. Let's say I want to become a sales manager after 10 years. What are the short-term goals I need to pass? What are the steps I need to go through? As a fresh grad, it's impossible for me to be hired directly as a sales manager. It's impossible. I need to be hired first as a medical rep. After being a medical representative, gaining this experience, I become a senior medical representative. Then I could become a supervisor. Then I could become a manager. So as you can see, there's 3 steps before becoming the manager. These are the short-term goals. The short-term goals, you need to write it in details, like becoming a medical rep. As a fresh grad, how can you become a medical rep? Number one, you need to make a CV, and this CV should be professional. So it may take you 2 to 3 days writing it, learning how to do it, and getting advice from others. So you write it. I will create a professional CV, and you put a time frame, 2 days. Within 2 days, you need to finish this. Number 2, I need to know what are the companies that I will distribute my CV to and how. When will I do this? Let's say within 2 days, I'll distribute the CVs. After that, I need to prepare myself for the interviews. So I need to work on this. I need to be a professional person in interviews. Why? Because lots of people, they get to get the interview, but they fail in it. So this will make it longer. It will make you take longer time to achieve your goals. So no, put it as a plan and do it. So as you can see now, Having these points, they will get you the first short-term goal faster. So simply, same applies for the other short-term goals that you need. You can always think when writing your short-term goals, do you need experience? Do you need certifications? Do you need certain skills? Do you need money? These are things that you always need to think of. Do you need them or not? Okay? Then you write each short-term goal in details. And to help you, in your next step for coaching and development, we have a CDP form, a ready form for you that you can use to write in a structured way your CDP. And you can find this form on my YouTube channel. Its name is Ma'moon Baydoun, same as my name. Okay, and this video, this is the thumbnail of the video that has the form under it in the description. You can download it for free from YouTube. Okay, simply my YouTube channel, it speaks about skills for work, what's work skills you need and how to develop it. And for fresh grads, there's a whole playlist talking about interviewing skills and how to prepare yourself for interviews. So it could be helpful for you. So you can get the CDP form from my YouTube channel under this video, which his name is تطوير الذات كيفية عمل خطة تطوير شخصية in Arabic, or career development plan in English. Okay, so now after writing this, after filling your CDP form, what's next? Print it and put it in front of you in the room, and make sure you're doing it with the time frames that you have written, and tick or draw a line on everything that you have done. It gives a good feeling. It keeps you motivated. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Now, I'll give you a recipe for a successful career as a summary. Number one, think big and plan for your future. Don't think of tomorrow. Think of 10 years later. And you'll get tomorrow, by the way. Okay, think big and plan your future. Number two, focus on your goals. Don't allow anybody to take you away from your goals. Focus on it and target it. Number three, work on the skills that you need for your goals. Don't waste your time on skills that you don't need for your goals. Time is the most precious things we have in life. Focus on your goals and use the time for it. And number four, vision your success. What do I mean here? When you're down, when you feel demotivated, vision being successful, vision reaching this goal. When you do this, you'll get the motivation. You get the feelings of success, and this will keep you going on. This is my recipe for a successful career. And I believe you people who are attending this conference are different. You guys are awesome. You'll be different because you're thinking in a different way than the others. Thank you very much for listening. And if there's any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me.